CBSE Class 10 Science Chapter 1 Chemical Reactions and Equations. What is a chemical reaction? A chemical reaction is a process in which new substances, products, with different properties are formed as a result of the breaking of bonds in reactants. Chemical equation. A chemical equation is a symbolic representation of a chemical reaction where the reactants and the products are shown by their symbols or formulas. For example, Na plus Cl NaCl. Sodium plus chlorine gives rise to sodium chloride. Balanced chemical equation. The chemical equation in which the number of atoms of each element in the reactant side is equal to that of the product's side is called a balanced chemical equation.
Why it is necessary to balance a chemical equation? According to the law of conservation of mass, mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. That is, the total mass of the elements present in the products of a chemical reaction has to be equal to the total mass of the elements present in the reactants. This is possible only if total number of atoms on the reactant side is equal to total number of atoms on product side. Thus, a chemical reaction should always be balanced.
What is a skeletal chemical equation? A skeletal equation is an unbalanced chemical equation, i.e., a chemical equation in which the total number of atoms of each element on the reactant side is not equal to the number of atoms of the same element on the product side. Types of chemical reactions.
Combination reaction. The reaction in which two or more reactants combine to form one product is called combination reactions. For example, Mg plus O2 gives rise to 2MgO. Magnesium plus oxygen gives rise to magnesium oxide.
Decomposition. The reaction in which one compound decomposes in two or more compounds or elements is known as decomposition reaction. For example, 2H2O when decomposed with electricity forms 2H2 plus O2. Water, when decomposed with electricity forms hydrogen and oxygen. Displacement. The chemical reaction in which a more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from a compound is known as displacement reaction. It is also known as substitution reaction. For example, when zinc reacts with copper sulfate, it forms zinc sulfate and copper metal. Double displacement. The reaction in which ions are exchanged between two reactants forming new compounds is called double displacement reaction. For example, when barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate, white precipitate of barium sulfate is formed along with sodium chloride. Precipitation. The reaction in which an insoluble substance, precipitate, is formed by the mixing of two solutions containing salts is called the precipitation reaction. For example, when barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate, white precipitate, PPT, of barium sulfate is formed along with sodium chloride. Neutralization. The reaction in which an acid reacts with a base to form salt and water by an exchange of ions is called neutralization reaction. For example, when sodium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid, action of both gets neutralized forming sodium chloride and water. Oxidation, a reaction that includes gain of oxygen or removal of hydrogen, or loss of electrons. For example, carbon when combines with oxygen forms carbon dioxide. C plus O2 CO2. Reduction, a reaction that includes removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen, or gain of electrons. For example, zinc oxide combines with carbon forming zinc and carbon dioxide. Redox reactions are oxidation-reduction chemical reactions in which the reactants undergo a change in their oxidation states. The term redox is a short form of reduction-oxidation. All the redox reactions can be broken down into two different processes, a reduction process and an oxidation process. Important note: a substance that gains oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be oxidized. A substance that loses oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be reduced. Oxidizing agent, a substance that oxidizes another substance and itself gets reduced. Reducing agent, a substance that reduces another substance and itself gets oxidized. Effects of oxidation reaction in everyday life.
Corrosion, the gradual eating up of metals by the action of air and moisture on their surface is called corrosion. The most common example of corrosion is rusting of iron. 4 iron atoms when combines with air or oxygen and water forms ferric oxide and n number of water molecules. Steps to prevent rusting of iron. I. Coating the iron surface with oil, grease or paint. 2. Depositing a layer of zinc on the surface of iron. This process is called galvanization. 3. Forming alloys of iron.
Rancidity: when fats and oils are exposed to air, they get oxidized and become rancid and their smell and color change. This phenomenon is called rancidity. Steps to prevent rancidity: I. Storing food materials in airtight containers. 2. Packaging food items in bags containing nitrogen. 3. Refrigeration of food items. 4. Addition of antioxidants or preservatives to the foods containing fats. We will see some very important questions in next part of the video.
Please do subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. If you like this video, hit a like for this video.